Hello, welcome to the Laptop tutorial session. In this tutorial series, we will be discussing a web development framework. And the web development framework we'll be discussing one will be the Python Flask. So Python Flask in Python is a Python library or Python framework for web development. So this particular library provides several functions which allows us to build lightweight web applications. So let's proceed. I will be doing this demonstration using the IDLE editor. You can get the IDLE by just downloading the Python software from python.org/downloads. So if you visit the site python.org/downloads, then you get several release versions of the Python software. So you can download the latest release or any version from 3.6 upward. So I believe from 3.6 upward, you should be able to demonstrate this tutorial with me. Then if you have your Python installed, you can see Python command prompt here. Then check if Python installed. So in your command prompt, you see if your Python is installed. And you can also use the Anaconda software. You can use the Spider as your IDLE as the integrated environment where you'll be writing the code. So this is what I'll be using. And I also have Flask installed on this Python. The Flask library has already been installed. But if you need to install the Flask library, then you can say that pipe install Flask. I already have this installed, so I won't be going through this installation. And you might also have an error while trying to get Python on your IDLE. If you don't get this kind of Python command editor, then Python has not been linked even after installation. So this might happen after installation, that Python has not been linked, which means that you might need to add the Python part where the location is the installation directories into your environmental variables. So if you need to do that, then you can check for the Python IDLE. So by clicking on this Python IDLE, you just click on open. So from that, you get this particular directories where the Python is being installed. So you copy that and add it to your environmental variables. So with that, you should be able to get Python in your environmental variables. But if you are using Anaconda, then you might not need to go through this procedure. So I can go to command prompt. Then from my command prompt, and I click on search for environmental variables. So mind you, if you are using Anaconda, I don't need to do this. So this environment variables. So you come to this part, then edit your part, then add. You can see I already added Python. See, this is my Python. So I have it linked. So you can also add it here to just be sure into the system variables and also the environment variables. So that will be that. So you add it, then click on OK. With that, you should be able to get this kind of command. Okay, so let's get started in writing Flask code. So before we proceed, I would love you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because subsequent videos will be releasing more versions of this particular tutorial, so we can be able to build lightweight web application using the Flask library. Thank you so much. So this is the folder I'll be using. Here I'll be creating a Python file for the demonstration. So I have to save it into my folder. I'll call it app. So the name of the Python file I created is called app, which is this. So you have something like this, which will be used to write your Python code. So let's get started. Okay, first and foremost, you have to import the library functions, which is used to create the application. So let's try to import that. So that's from Flask, which is the Flask library I installed into my into the Python system. Also from Flask imports Flask. Okay, so let me try to increase this editor. Right. Okay. So for Flask, import Flask. So this particular Flask functions will allow us to create a Flask app. So an application will look like this: app equal to Flask. So I'll call this particular Flask function. Then I'll write a particular, I'll call a particular function called name. So underscore name. Most times you always follow this particular template. You don't need to worry so much about it for now. So it's just the template you have to follow to create your app. Then at the last end here, I'll be saying that if underscore name, then underscore equal to underscore main underscore, and I'll say that app one. So app.one allows us, once anytime we execute this code, so this will allow us to run the application. Okay, so this is the template you always have to create once you want to start building your application. Okay, so let's proceed. The first thing we'll be doing, if we execute this particular code, we will get a particular link, which will be like an IP address. Then we'll be able to view our application that we create in our browser, in any browser on our computer. Okay, so in Flask, we create pages. So we create pages. The first page we'll be creating is the root page. The root page is like once we visit the link, the localhost link, the first thing we will get. So I'm going to create that. I'll say that app root. So this is the rules of creating a page. At apps.root allows us to create a page. So at app.root slash means that we are actually concerned with creating the home page. This particular rules allows us to create a page at app.root, which means that it is the home page. Because it is slash is the home page. Now, if you see that slash service, it means that if you visit our link, then slash service, what should happen? So this means that this actually is the home page. Then if you put anything aside from here, it means that we are creating a sub page, like a new page within the home page. So let's get started. This is the particular rules that allows that define that a user visit the home page, the root address of the link. Then within these rules, they will create a particular function. So I can see that they have index. So index is just a name I give this function. It could be anything that you like. So which means that if this particular home page is created, then this function in Python should be executed. So furthermore, you just need to have some basic knowledge in Python programming for you to get along with this. Def is a particular keyword used to create functions in Python programming language. So with this particular def, and I'll say that return. So this return is the output to the function. It means that this function should be executed anytime user visit our home address. So I'm just going to return that hello. This is so this going to mean that Once user visit our home address, this particular keyword will be returned like a response to the home to this particular function. So let's try to execute the code. I'll be executing this code with this command prompt. So once I execute, I'll get a link like a particular local host running, then I'll be able to visit the site, the application, web application on any browser. Okay, so is this my link. My code is located here. Then I can run it by saying that Python path. So Python app.py, when the Python is installed, means that we want to execute this code. So this is the link I'm referred to. This link. So if I copy this link, then I visit it on any browser. So I'm trying to open my browser now. So this particular, you can see I get a response. This is the home address. This is the home address. So this is our root page. This is our root address. But if you have some other kind of if you are creating an application for production level, so it's your domain name will be actually identified as this. But in this case, this is a localhost demonstration. Everything you're doing is just a localhost. So that's why you get a link for localhost with a post name of 5,000. Okay, so let's get started. So if you change anything here, then you get the response here once you try to edit your code. So this is particular page. Now you can see that we've created a page, which is the home page. If you wish to create a new page within your web application, so it's just the same format. This time you have to specify the name of the page. Let's say that I'm creating because of the home page, so it is just slash. But if I thought it is like a new page I'm creating, let's say that I'm creating the name of the page is about, then I have to execute a new function called. This is a new function called about. So you can see that in this case, I'm going to change the response to hello, this is the about page. This is the rules of creating a new page. Now, if I need to visit my site by saying that slash about to get the response for this, if I say that slash about with my domain link, now I'm using a localhost. With that localhost, I'm going to get this response. This is the about page. But if I do that now, I'm not going to get a response because this code has not been updated on our server. You can see this is our server running here, our local server running here. So it has not been updated. If I want to get it updated, I have to close this, then run it again. So anytime I make any changes, I have to close it and run it again. But if you want to avoid that, if you want to avoid closing your code anytime you make a changes and run it again. So let's say you are working on a production, you don't want to close down your code and run it again. Then you have to set a particular keyword here called debug to be true. So this debug to be true, it allows your code to, you don't need to always close your code. So I'm going to run it last time. So anytime I make any changes, I don't need to do anything, close it again and run it again. So I'm using that slash about to test the new page. You can see this is the about page. So that's how you create a new page. And sometimes you can create a 2-page and have just a link, just like this. This is my own page. I can also create a new page that these are the 2 rules. /home. It means that if user visits my home page without putting /home, and if user visits my home page with /home, it's still going to return this /index. So if I try to save this, you see that my code is updated here because debug is to. So I'm going to that slash, this is the home page. Then I can see that slash home. So I get the same thing. This is the home page. So you can have two rows actually put into a function. So this is a row. So you can have as much as rows put into a particular function. So anytime user call this particular rows, it's still going to run this same function. So this particular sequence of arranging code allows us to create web application. You can create any kind of web application with this. This is just like an introduction. Okay, so let's proceed. So in this next session, we'll be discussing the redirect keyword. Redirect. So the redirect key, redirect function within this Flask library allows us to redirect a link. So this could happen, let's say that you have a new link that you want to redirect a particular page. You want to redirect your user if your user visits a particular page within your application. So you want to redirect it to a link. So you can see that what we've been doing is just to return a string and within our home page, within our page. But let's try to use the redirect and see how it goes. So I'm going to copy this. The redirect allows us to redirect an application. So let's say, in case you want to use the redirect, in case you want to redirect to, let's say you want to redirect to Google, then we're still going to use the same template. Now, instead of saying that return a string, then I'll go to that return direct. Now I'm going to say that return http://google.com. So if you are using the redirect, what the redirect implies that you have a particular site you want your site to be redirected to. Like if your user visits /Google within your application, then it's going to redirect to google.com. So that's how it works. Now we have updated our application. It should have updated here. Then I'm going to say that /Google. So this should redirect me to google.com. So you can see, because of this particular function, redirect. So the redirect functions allows like users to visit another link entirely within your code. Okay, so this will be the end to this particular session of our class. So in the next session, we'll be discussing how we can link our website to our HTML template within our web files. So if you have a particular web files, HTML code you've created with CSS and make a lot of styling and even created JavaScript, how you can put everything together and push it into your web server that is running here. Okay, so thank you so much for this particular session. In the next session, we shall discuss the linking of the templates and pulling everything together. Thank you so much. Bye.